Hi everyone, we would be discussing the Module 9 of your Elective 3 Lean Six Sigma subject. This is identifying the value added steps and ways. Let's start off with your objectives. Okay, so initially we would have to we would have to be aligned of the definition of what's value added activities. Okay, so we would credit an activity to be value adding if it complies to this or pasok siya sa criteria na yan. Okay, so first off, the customer has to care about the step. Okay, so this first criterion, it's like putting yourself in the shoes of your customers if analyzing if they would actually be willing to pay for that particular step. Okay, so if not, therefore it's value adding. Next, second criterion is the step must either physically change the product or service in some way or be an essential prerequisite for another step. Okay, so it's common to say or it's very common na essential yung step if in case it's changing the material or obviously nakikitaan natin siya ng contribution to the process. Okay? So, yun yung sinasabi ng pangalawang criteria. The last criteria is the step must be actioned right first time. So, making sure a step is done right first time is parang ang sinasabi ay checking value added. So, ito yung mga halimbawa, rework, hindi siya kasama sa value adding. Okay, rework, lahat ng rework, reprocessing, realigning, okay, lahat ng may okay, are considered as not value adding. Okay, so dahil alam nyo na kung ano yung value adding sa non-value adding, okay, so we can actually carry out a value added analysis. Okay, so a value added analysis really is as straightforward as it sounds because you would just check based on your steps what are actually value adding and not value adding. Okay, so in this table you'll see the list of the activities, okay, na it varies, syempre, it varies, depende kung ano yung activities ng inyong magiging pagtatrabahuhan. Okay, you will list it here. And then, you would have to identify the time. Okay, the time, the unit or activity time. And then, after that, i-categorize nyo siya either value adding or the non-value adding. Okay, so yung time na fixed dito, halimbawa, ito, ilalagay nyo dito kasi value adding siya. Itong second activity, hindi siya value adding. So, yung time na nakalagay dito, ay ilalagay nyo dito. Okay? So, ito naman, halimbawa, ay value adding. So, ilalagay natin siya under the value adding as well. Okay? So, it's very simple. And, ang ending niyan, makikita nyo kung ilang percent yung value adding sa hindi value adding. Okay? So, another way to see your value adding activities is kung sakaling nakaka-encounter kayo ng 7 ways. Actually, 7 lang yan kasi sa Japanese, swerte yung 7. Okay? But, normally, pag tinignan nyo all throughout the updated sites and book references, 8 ways na siya. Okay? But, yun nga, sinasabi natin, when you're talking about muda, which is the original waste for the Japanese, it's 7. Okay? Ang nawala lang ay itong si non-utilized people. Okay? Or non-utilized potential. Yan yung na-add bilang pang-8. Okay? Kasi all of which, okay, so should have been discussed in your methods engineering subject. But if in case hindi pa, okay, so defects are actually anything na hindi nagko-comply dun sa standard or sa expected output, okay? So, we are crediting it as defects. Next is the overproduction. Anything na pinoproduce in excess or pinaprocess in excess is considered overproduction, okay? Waiting, anything that is associated with idleness due to inavailability of materials, manpower, okay? So, siya ay associated under the waiting kind of waste. Next is the non-utilized potential. Okay, so you might be placing the wrong person to the job. Okay? So, or meron siyang ibang skill pero nilagay mo siya sa normal lang, sa normal work, pero meron niya siyang kakaibang skill na supposedly dapat na-utilize mo better kung inilagay mo siya sa tamang posisyon. Okay? So, yun yung concept ng wasting the non-utilized potential of your people. Okay? Kasi part din siya ng waste. Hindi siya magiging productive dun sa area na pinaglagyan mo sa kanya kasi nga, you would be seeing na okay, so hindi niya gagalingan doon o hindi niya talaga kayang gumaling doon sa area na yun kasi hindi yun yung forte niya. Okay? Next is transport. Okay, excessive movements from one point to another. Okay, o di kaya baka may problema na kayo sa layout kasi ang haba-haba nung oras na naglalakad lang siya from one point to another. Okay, or di kaya yung materials masyado nating dinadala or masyado nating tinatravel. Okay, so yun, part siya ng waste, which is transport. Next is inventory. Any excess in the inventory, we're calling inventory as mapa raw materials, finished goods, or the work in progress or WIP. Okay, yung tatlong yon, mapaalin man, kahit anong mapasobra ay considered waste, ay hindi katanggap-tanggap para sa atin. Considered waste yan. Okay, so in lean thinking, we are implementing just-in-time, reminder, just-in-time, meaning no inventories before and after and even within the production. Okay? Para whenever the customer needs it, tsaka lang natin siya gagawin or tsaka lang natin siya maibibigay sakto kung kailan kailangan. Okay? Next is motion. Okay, so aside from dun sa mga regular na ginagawang activities for the process, okay, yung mga sumika pa, ganyan, so mga added activities, added motions na hindi naman kailangan for the process are considered waste. And lastly is extra processing. So yung pinakintab pa, pinunasan pa afterwards, pero makinis na naman, okay? Or di kaya ay nilagyan pa ng ribbon, okay? Eh, hindi naman sinasabi ng customer na kailangan ko ng ribbon, okay? Mga ganong bagay, okay? So, again, those are your 8 wastes with, of course, ang bagong-bagong non-utilized potential. So, since alam nyo na kung ano yung wastes, so, ideally, whenever you are actually talking about identifying kung ano yung value adding sa non-value adding, okay? Madali kasing i-identify dahil alam mo na yung waste, pwede mo na agad i-categorize na, okay, non-value adding yan kasi part yan ng 8 mudas. Okay? But then again, another consideration that you must bear in mind is going green or the green mindset. Okay? You would have to consider also, baka mamaya may waste din tayo in terms of being present to our environment. Ano yung being present to our environment? Baka mamaya, okay naman, mabilis naman yung processing ng steel. Okay, mabilis naman. Okay. Pero 'di ba, medyo matagal i-process yung steel. Tapos 'di ba medyo scarce siya. Okay? Hindi siya recyclable. Okay? So, another point of view din para ma-identify nyo, baka pwedeng gawin nyo na i-consider nyo yung environment sa inyong magiging designs o sa inyong processes na isama nyo din siya sa point of view ng pag-credit ng value adding sa non-value adding. Okay? So, though higher level siya, higher level of identifying kung value adding ba to dahil nga ito'y in consideration to the environment, okay? But in the future, 'di ba? In the future, pwedeng after nyo i-identify yung waste, i-identify nyo naman kung ano yung mga processes na hindi hindi nakakatulong sa environment o nakakasayang ng resources ng environment. Okay? O yung mga steps na sayang lang yung resource ng environment, natural energy, mga ganyan. Okay? So, yun yung concept. Okay? So, aside from the 8 wastes, so you can actually focus on the activities or steps that are not actually helpful to the environment as well. So that's it for your identifying value-added steps and waste. So for questions and clarifications, I would be very open to address yours on our team's account. Thank you and good day.